Hey guys, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. This is Jordan McKibben Fishing, and today I'm going to talk to you guys about a little bit of kayak safety, okay? So first and foremost, whenever you're on the water kayaking, stay within your paddling abilities. Not your angling abilities, your paddling abilities, okay? Second of all, always wear your PFD, okay? This is a 15-pound, it's got 15-pound buoyancy on it. It's not the best, but at least it'll keep you afloat. And another piece of equipment that you should utilize, especially if you're fishing on bigger waters like this, such as the Niagara River, any inshore, out on the Great Lakes, any of that, okay? You should have a VHF radio, okay? This is your lifeline to the Coast Guard, okay? And actually that's the Coast Guard helicopter going over because they were just stress speaking down here on the Lewiston, okay? So, a lot of guys are gonna ask, why not just carry a cell phone? Well, when you're out in the Great Lakes, a lot of times your cell phone's not gonna work too well. It's got a crappy signal, whatever, right? Also, if you drop it in the water, it's about as useful as a wicker bedpan, okay? This thing is submersible, okay? It's waterproof. Sorry, I thought my kayak was floating away. So it can sit up to, I think, 10 meters underwater for over half an hour, okay? So if you're underwater that long, then you're in trouble anyways, you're probably toast. But you go for a dip and you're stuck and you're trying to stay afloat, hopefully if you're wearing your PFD, you can contact the Coast Guard and get some help, okay? Okay, so a lot of you guys are going to sit there and wonder, what kind of VHF radio should I get? Well, there's a billion different kinds you can get, okay, that can range anywhere from $100 to $1,000 Canadian. I opted out just for a base model. It does the trick. It's got my volume, my Scouts control. I can click my emergency buttons, which is going to connect to my channel 16 and 9, okay? Those are the channels that the US Coast Guard and the Canadian Coast Guard are going to monitor. Actually, really, realistically, any international Coast Guard is going to monitor. It's also got a weather alert, so it's going to scan if there's any weather alerts, such as high winds, storms coming in, it's going to alert me with that, okay? It also has all the other channels I can connect to, okay? Now, when you're going to use one of these things, you need to know how to properly use it. It's not a toy, okay? And I believe in the States you actually need a license to use one. So you need to know the difference between a Mayday and a Pompon and a Securite, which we're going to get to that in a second, okay? So the first call that I'm going to talk about is a Mayday, okay? Before I get into this, I'm going to note that making a false Mayday is a criminal offense. So don't do it unless your life is in jeopardy, okay? So a Mayday, like I said, is a call that you're going to make when your life is in jeopardy. So this is, your boat's on fire, you're drowning, whatever, okay? Life or death situation. So when you're making a Mayday call, you're going to hit your 16 and 9 channel. You're going to connect to channel 16, which is what all the Coast Guards are listening to. You're going to hold the talk button. You're going to say Mayday, Mayday, Mayday 3 times, okay? You're going to wait for a response. If something doesn't, or if they don't respond back within 30 seconds, then you're going to do it again, okay? They're probably going to ask who you are, what the name of your vessel is, and what your situation is. Stay calm and tell them exactly what's happening. Okay, so you say your Maydays, they respond back. This is US Coast Guard, which is situation. This is white kayak, for example, because I got a white kayak. There's a giant hole in my kayak, I hit a rock, my boat's sinking, okay? I'm just staying afloat with my PFD. I need help. And then you wait for them to respond back, okay? Do not, if you hear somebody else on channel 16 calling it a Mayday, there's what's called the code of silence. You do not use that channel. You listen, and if the Coast Guard asks for somebody to dispatch, if they dispatch somebody to help in that area if they can, then you can respond back. But other than that, stay off the line, okay? Okay, so the next call that we're going to talk about is Pompon, okay? So the difference between a Mayday and a Pompon is a Mayday is a life or death situation. A Pompon is a situation where you're not going to die, but you're in trouble, okay? So for example, say I'm out on the water with my kayak and I lose my paddle for whatever reason. My paddle's gone, it floats away, and I'm drifting out in the middle of Lake Ontario. So you're going to hit your radio. You can do channel 9 first, okay? Which is going to connect to all boaters and vessels out in the area. Because you obviously don't want to utilize the Coast Guard's time unless you really have to. So if you can connect to somebody on... Okay, sorry. If you can connect into a channel 9, another vessel out there, you're going to call Pompon. So you're going to say, Pompon, Pompon. This is white kayak. My white kayak.
Somebody Station Niagara. Mary. Over.
Somebody will respond back, sorry. Wait for them to respond back. It could be another boat in the area, it could be the US Coast Guard, okay? They're going to ask what your situation is. You're going to tell them, this is White Kayak, my name is Jordan McKibben. I've lost my paddle and I'm drifting out to the middle of Lake Ontario requesting a tow if possible, over. And they're going to respond back if they can. Now you got to be patient. Don't constantly be hitting the talk button. I know it's hard because you're going to be panicking if you get stuck in a situation like that, but you got to be patient and you got to go back and forth, okay? Listen, be patient, and stay calm, okay? Next one is going to be called a security. So you can hear security, security. This is U.S. Coast Guard. For example, they might say something like, I heard the other day on the Niagara that there was a down marker buoy for, I guess, a giant rock or a stump or something that was close to the channel, and it was submerged under the water. So they made a security call out to all the boaters and vessels out there so that they knew that this buoy was down and to keep a sharp eye for it so they don't damage your boat. So your security call is more not to your own personal safety, it's to the safety of your boat or other property. And like I said, you're going to hear that more from the Coast Guard or other authority vessels on the water, not necessarily from another boat or something you should be calling, unless you spot it first and then you connect to the Coast Guard and let them know. So in summary, that's how you make a Mayday, a Pompon, and a security call. Now you guys know the major things you have to listen for and how to properly use one of these VHF radios. So thanks for watching. This is Jordan McKibben Fishing. Have fun and stay safe out there.